5-minute
call. This is your 5-minute call with Cessalee Stovall.
Hey, what's up, you guys? This is your 5-minute call with Cessalee Stovall. Today we have on the line Taylor Louderman, and her top 5 are as follows. Number 1, she is originally from Bourbon, Missouri. Number 2, she went to the University of Michigan for 2 years before leaving school to join the national tour of Bring It On. She then took that national tour straight to Broadway for her Broadway debut in Bring It On. And other regional credits include Sandy, both at Paper Mill and the Muny. But most likely you have seen her lovely face flying straight into your living rooms on Peter Pan Live on NBC. And her number 5 is that she has 4 younger sisters and a totally awesome family. Welcome, Taylor. How's it going?
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So we'll just jump right in. Tell me a little bit about your journey from high school to college, leaving college, and how you got to the tour.
Sure. Yeah, I started watching Shirley Temple movies and the movie Annie, and I had it all memorized. So my parents were like, let's take her to audition for Annie down the street at a local theater. And that's where I fell in love with it. And from there, I grew up near St. Louis, so we have the Muny. So I got to watch these Broadway performers come in as a Muny kid. You know, we're only on stage for like 3 seconds, but you get to watch their process. And I just kept falling more and more in love with it. And so in high school, I played sports, and then I eventually gave up on them because I realized that it was what I wanted to do. And I worked my little hiney off to get into the University of Michigan. And those college auditions were so hard. And gosh, from there, I feel like I got really lucky. I feel like the timing was perfect for this role, Campbell, and Bring It On. And I was prepared, and it changed my life.
That's awesome. So what was the breakthrough moment for you, or the moment you decided this is definitely what you wanted to be doing?
I remember at the Muny, it's the world's largest theater. There's 11,000 seats. And I walked out there for the first time, and it took my breath away. I mean, you can see everybody because the sun's not all the way down. And it was Aida. I just got so enveloped in the atmosphere and I don't know, being in the environment, and it was very powerful to me, and it was something that I wanted to continue doing. And so that was it for me, yeah.
That's awesome. So what's the most memorable moment you've had, either on stage or off stage or at some point throughout your career?
Previews. The first previews are always like the most fun nights on Broadway. Opening night's really cool, but everybody's like all fancy and stuff. But preview nights are crazy fun. And I remember walking out in the opening of Bring It On for our first preview, and the crowd just went wild. And I thought, and I had like a spotlight on me. I felt like this must be what Beyonce feels like. I felt that to everybody because I feel like, I don't know, it was so like an out of body experience. And so for me, that's something I'll never forget. You know?
Oh, that's awesome. Well, and if I could ever feel like Beyonce, I think that might be my life.
I mean, I don't know, but I was like, whoa, it doesn't get any better than this.
All right, now question 4 for you comes from our Twitter followers, and Hannah Schutzler wants to know, what for you is the difference between stage acting and film acting?
Well, I can't speak for all of film acting because ours was a live experience, which is a little bit different than like TV and film. But I would say the main thing for me was not knowing what your audience is seeing. On stage, you can kind of pick out at least where they're directing focus, you know, with lighting or who's speaking. But with the camera work, I didn't know if the camera, because there's like 5 cameras in a scene, so you don't know really, you can't pay attention to which one's on at which point, and then what kind of shot they're getting. For me, that was a obstacle because I wanted to make sure I was telling my story and making sure that my character was coming across just the way I wanted it to. And you just never know what the audience is seeing in that moment. So if you make this really like intense face, maybe they didn't see it, and you're like, oh man, you know.
And the last question for you is, if you could go back in time and give your 16-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be?
I think to just trust yourself. There's so many things pulling us in different directions to be this or that. And the moment that I started just accepting who I was and embracing that, because that's the one thing you have that nobody else has, is you, your essence, who you are. You know, especially on Broadway, a lot of people who are there at the auditions can sing, a lot of people can dance, a lot of people can act. And the one thing that you have that nobody else has is you. And so the more I feel like I embrace myself and just bring myself to the table, the better I feel, whether or not I get it,
Right.
And then to work hard too. Okay, that's 2 things. Is that okay?
That's okay.
I always feel like when I was younger, it was fun. I didn't realize I was working so hard because it was fun for me, And so I guess that's another thing. So just appreciate it and take it all in, because it is a blast, but that hard work will pay off.
That's awesome. That's such great advice, Taylor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining us on 5 Minute Call, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye. Can you tell?